Onomatopoeia!
Onomatopoeia!
I swear it gets louder every time.
What is this, session 10.5?
Oh, somebody's a
Correct.
popcat.
That
Who's
was
the
me.
popcat?
10.5. I love it.
So, who would like to provide the set dressing for tonight?
I just got fucking stabbed.
Okay. Okay. So I do have a question of where in the timeline we are. Are we after we've taken a rest already, or is this
No.
like following
No.
up directly with the
I
sending
can-
messages?
I can dress the set.
Dress
let me
the
answer that
set.
question. Dress the set, yeah.
How
So we
modest of
have.
you.
Oh yes, I'm not going to undress the set. That's for
Please
later.
don't.
So we have just slain the Death Kiss. I believe immediately after that there was the conversations at the end of last session. And following that, we kind of all went to do our own little things. Fenton began to journal. Reed began to celebrate. Reed approached Fenton. Had an interesting conversation, a bit of a spat where Lorenz joined there at the end. Yes.
Fel,
Oh.
what the fuck is that?
Oh, that's just the Laughing Jackal, our good friend.
Yeah, I know.
What?
He wanted me to fit.
Beautiful.
Well, no, Ferb is wrong.
Anyways, Reed has walked away doing his own Reed thing. Foshkra is suffering a bit by the fire, recovering from his nearly mortal wounds during the battle. Chain is having a moment somewhere hiding behind a rock, and Leora has talked to Foshkra and is now talking to Chain. And I believe this is all within a couple minutes of the battle ending.
Yeah,
Yes,
fair enough.
that sounds right to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Practicing my dancing.
Very nice.
Except he kind of ruins the mood.
I'm so sorry.
So I don't want to be too forward, but I do believe that Leora and Chain may have the stage because they currently in the middle of a conversation.
I would agree.
Yes, to give a little bit of context for the recording, after receiving acid damage, Chain went into a bit of a panic, and once the combat was over, he's kind of stayed where he was behind the rock he was using as cover. At which point, some point after that, Leora came over and found him. And during his little panic attack, when he couldn't exactly find the effort to mimic words, he mimicked sounds, and when that didn't work, he pulled the scarf off him around his neck to reveal scarred, burned skin covered in bright blue arcanic rune tattoos. And that is about where I think we left off in sending.
Yes, I believe so. Let me scroll back up to make sure I'm starting where I need to start. Okay.
Emotions.
Okay, so I had asked who did it to you, and I said that no one else would ever hurt you like that again, and you said promises, don't make promises you can't keep. I asked if you needed to talk through it with anybody else, because I know you're not very trusting of me right now. And you said you didn't need anybody else, you just needed a minute. So that is where we're picking back up. So I would reach out my hands to you and ask, will you come with me, please? Take as long as you need here, but if you don't want anybody else to see this, I understand. It's a lot, obviously. We can go to the fire. I know a little bit of warmth might help make you feel a little bit more like yourself, but until you're ready, I'll be here with you.
see Chain like looks at the hands and then looks away. I don't need your pity. Just give me a minute.
It's not pity, but I understand all the same. I only want to help. But you don't need that, so I'll just wait until you're ready. And then she'll drop her hand, pick up her staff, and wait patiently.
Chain just kind of like sits in the silence for a bit, but like the longer that she just like stands there waiting for him, the more uncomfortable he gets. So like maybe 20, 30 seconds, something like that. He'll push himself up and loosely wrap his scarf back around his neck and push past her to move back towards the fire just to get it over with.
And she will follow. And with no mention of anything that she just saw, she will turn to Foshkra and ask him, hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling?
Foshkra is just sitting there in front of the fire, still cross-legged, just staring, breathing. I will live. If that is what you are worried about, I will live. You can leave me. Check on the others.
Well, as long as you're sure. And she would turn back around to the rest of them and walk over to Fenton first. Hey, how are you doing?
Fenton, unless Lorenz had continued a conversation, will have sat back down to his journal to keep working on the drawing that he had begun earlier. I'm holding up all right. How are you doing, Leora?
Well, if I'm honest, I'm not sure. You heard what that death kiss was singing, if you could call it that.
I did. It was a clear version, I suppose, of what we heard in Curious, yes?
I mean, if nothing else, he was trying to mimic it. He didn't do a very good job, but that does make me wonder, do you think maybe he learned it on his own and that's why it sounded the way it did?
Perhaps. Whether he came across the knowledge on his own or had a mentor in one like Lord Sinai, we are clearly not alone in the information that we have now. I wouldn't mind getting to the bottom of how he came to know what he knew. I do intend to search around, at least in this chamber here. Once we have the time to do so. I'm curious what he was doing down here.
You and me both. let me know if you find anything, please.
Of course, yes, I will. Leora, can I ask you something that's been on my mind, I guess, since Kiris, but all the more so now.
Of course.
What? Why did you leave? If Yuan-Ti, if creatures are truly after you, were you not safer in Iris?
I would be safer in Iris. I didn't really have much of a choice in whether I stayed or went. The Archseeker found it to be a bit more prudent to take care of her own, and unfortunately, I am not one of her own. So she was kind as I could expect her to be growing up. I didn't really expect to get to stay forever. She actually gifted me my staff. But she told me that I had to go.
Presumably in her eyes for the safety of her own. She knew what you were then, yes?
Yes, she said she saw it in the stars. So, no one told her, no one saw anything or said anything. I thought I was safe. That Yuan-Ti kind of throws a kink in that, but I didn't think anybody knew.
The stars. Leora, is a prophecy like that a comfort to you? Do you feel like you are on a quest with intention, or do you feel like you were banished outright?
As much as I would like to think that it's a quest with intention, I know that I cannot return home. So. But. She would clear her throat and look away. That brings us to where we are today. I have this group, and as different as we all are, as hard as it is to get a read on everybody, we've made it this far.
We have done that much, huh? And do forgive my prying, as you insinuate there. I'm growing tired of not knowing these ones that we are seemingly forced to travel with.
Likewise. Speaking of the not knowing, though, I've been told twice now by two people who claim to be looking out for me that I can't trust you. And that's a very brazen move of me to say that outright. However, I need to know that I can.
Fenton kind of cocks an eyebrow and looks across the rest of the party here in the chamber. Told by two of these? Two of who?
Well, one that you got a little too close to comfort with Lord Sinai was one of
Hmm.
them. And the other was a Yuan-ti that I came across in here whenever I was alone.
I think hearing that, Fenton is much more alert, kind of hand back on his rapier, looking around the chasm or the chamber. I am. Are you safe? Are you well?
I'm safe. Well, as far as I can presume to be, at least. It was the one that accosted you in Alesker.
And the creature is still here. Should we move on? Is this?
No. He's gone. I don't see or sense him anymore. But the things that he said, it was him that put the marking on our door, basically forced us out of the city. He said that he wanted to, well, for one, keep me protected from other Yuan-ti, but he said that he liked our dreams. And that he wanted to protect those.
Leora, I would very, very strongly caution you against taking a Yuan-ti at their word.
I very much did not want to take them at their word. But they, as well as Sinai, did both caution me against talking with you and trusting you.
I don't mean to breeze over that point either, Leora. Forgive me. This is. Well, I hope you can understand a startling revelation from you, but for your sake, Leora, I do not keep secrets. The Yuan-ti, I suppose, warned me of something very similar. I suspect the problem that you have been warned of is just that. As a keeper of Mazarim, I am something of an open book. As my mother's son, I have something of an open beak. Add that to my father's reputation, my bright clothing, my interesting traveling companions. It's easy to see that I am not the ideal friend for someone who wishes to keep their existence a secret.
That may have been the case, that may be the case, but as a life and death matter, I need you to please try to keep that a secret. I don't care if we have to come up with something more interesting to tell them, but no one can know.
I do understand this, Leora, and I apologize for not coming to terms, realizing that fact sooner. It is literally my job to collect secrets and to share them with the world, and I do understand how sensitive your situation is. I do not plan to tell another soul about it until I am sure it is safe to do so. But all the same, I am a horribly unfortunate person for you to have revealed your secret to.
Yes, well, it didn't very much seem like I had much of a choice in the moment. And for what it's worth, I would love one day for you to be able to share this, every aspect of this mess of a journey that we find ourselves on. But for right now, be cautious, please.
Yes. Yes, of course, you have my word that I will do so, Leora. If my trustworthiness is in doubt, I hope to be able to dissuade those doubts in any way. I assure you, there is nothing I hide. There's Nothing more to say than that.
Of course, you may want to consider fighting every once in a while.
Yes, yes, I understand. About myself, I suppose.
But I'm glad you're well. I'm going to go check on the others, though.
Thank you for doing so. If you are comfortable doing so, perhaps you also share with the others of the Yuan-Ti. I do not wish it to catch us off guard.
Of course.
Thank you,
And
Leora.
of course. And with that, she would turn and walk away. And the closest person on the map right now is Reed. Reading the chat. So she would cautiously walk up to Reed.
Reed is kind of humming to himself, facing not in the Fenton direction.
Reed, are you all right?
I am all right.
You seem a bit
Hello,
jovial.
Fox.
Hello, Reed. You seem a bit jovial for the evening.
I have to be. Why would we cry over a successful hunt?
I don't think anybody's crying. Not right now.
They are.
Who is?
He'll wave his hands towards the others. Everyone in their own way is. They feel the arrow loosed in this hunt and mourn it. Will they ever see how large an accomplishment this is?
Looking back, they might.
Too late.
I don't think it's ever too late to reminisce.
If you're 10 steps behind life, that is always too late. Life follows me. Won't you learn to sing sometime?
I don't know if I can. Not the way that he did.
Does it have to be the same?
I mean, I've sung plenty before, but nothing that's ever had an effect on anybody.
You don't need to let him teach you. You should let her teach you. Reed will point a finger up.
Who, Muse?
Yes.
I would love for her to teach me. But right now, anyway, I don't think she's strong enough to do much teaching.
There are ways to change that.
I would like to think so. I would like to hope so. But it does feel a little futile sometimes.
I will help you how I can.
Thank you, Reed. For now, I'll leave you to your celebration.
Celebration? Tell that to the bird.
Leora would smile at him and turn and walk away and walk towards Lorenz.
Oh boy.
Oh boy!
Hi there, Leora.
Lorenz, how are your wounds?
They are tolerable.
Good. Do you need any healing?
Perhaps so. How are you doing?
Keeping myself busy. I'll be all right.
I can see. Had a conversation with Reed. Well,
I
if you
think
can
that
call
might
it a
have
conversation.
that might have been the most eloquent conversation we've had yet. There's hope.
So there is.
Three of you bickering earlier.
I'm not too sure what about. Fenton shares my disdain is too strong a word, but general dislike for Reed's constant poetic sayings.
It is a language all its own.
It is every step, I think I'm getting closer to understanding. He always makes me feel like I'm 20 steps behind. And it irritates me.
I wonder if it's a guise. Maybe something to protect himself.
Perhaps.
I think we'll understand him one day.
Maybe. I'm a bit more concerned about myself, actually, about who I am. I've been thinking for a while now.
About what?
Leora, were you born with your gifts?
I think to some degree. But I also think a lot of it came from study.
That's what I was afraid of. I was not born with the ability to do what I can do now.
Did you study or did something happen?
Not a word.
Of course.
I mean, not a word of study. I've seen people perform magic before. I've witnessed it, but I haven't studied. I was not born with the ability. It started all the way back in the sands when I fell into the astral plane. When I awoke back into the material, suddenly it was like I don't know, imagine a new limb that you never knew you had, and suddenly you have it, and it feels as natural as it's always been there, and it's only getting stronger.
Hmm.
I mean, look at what happened to our dear friend splattered all over the floor here.
Perhaps you were born with it, but something about traveling across the plane awakened it.
Your theories are as good as mine, as anyone else's. I'm just a little scared of who I am, or who I'm becoming, perhaps. I never really thought about it until now, and I'm just unsure.
Do you have any other information that may help you figure it out?
Unfortunately not. I think whatever happened during my fall to the astral, and I can't remember completely what happened within it. If only I could remember that, maybe. But I don't.
Do you remember everything about life prior to the astral plane?
Oh, there are some days I wish that I had forgotten my life before then, but alas, I remember both forwards, backwards, but not that tiny little space between.
Hmm. Sounds like our answer might be in the astral plane, although that doesn't sound like the most pleasant place to return to.
Well, the last few times, yes, we've had to fight our way out, but every time we've gone there, I'm not sure how to describe it. Like, the air I was breathing was the same as the air inside me. It just felt natural, almost unburdened in a sense. Perhaps I'm imagining it.
Perhaps. We'll figure it out, though.
I hope we will. Perhaps you should check on our Ignan friend over by the fire. He did not look too well.
Yes, I've checked on him a few times, but I do worry about him.
Let me guess, he wishes to be left alone.
I'm sure he would like to be. But he's surrounded by people now.
For better or worse, all of us are.
I would like to think it's for the better, but I suppose only time will tell. And with that, Leora will go sit by the campfire and just hang out and watch over everybody and make sure everybody's not, falling off the deep end.
Should have been there on session 1.
Hmm.
To get out of the awkwardness of being checked up on and everybody else getting checked up on, Chain's gonna go to where was like the books and stuff? Was it up here?
Oh, loot! Loot! Fel! You have responsibilities!
I can't see shit on the map because I think I deleted my token on the last session.
No, there's 2 tokens.
Yeah.
Oh, I still
And
I can't see
neither
shit.
of them are
You might be
glowing.
zoomed in too far.
No, I'm not.
Oh. Well, rip.
I think
Well,
the
Roll20 just hates you.
new tokens don't have dark
roleplay.
vision assigned to them.
Roleplay.
Wow.
This is roleplay.
It does now.
It does now. I see the little campfire. That's about it.
Foshkra is my Tosine.
He's multiplying.
Yes.
Good lord.
We will have an army before long.
Oh, the
Oh,
lizard folk reproduce via parthenogenesis.
Lizard folk are single-celled organisms.
They're like
Single
water
scaled.
bears.
I know I bud. I didn't know he did too.
Single brain celled.
I'll say though, as Leora comes back over to the fire, Foshkra just kind of like quickly looks up and then takes his hand off his necklace and goes to just stare back into the flames.
Is everything all right, Foshkra?
Everything is fine, Leora. Everything is fine.
Can I ask you something?
Can I stop you right now?
You could say no.
What?
Those fangs on your necklace. What are they?
Connection.
To home?
Family.
Do they have the same connection with you?
One still. He's not looking at you.
Who is it?
Instead of answering, he turns just enough so that his eyes one eye looks up at you. Why do you care to learn?
Because it's better than traveling with a stranger.
I am stranger. I am not stranger. I am just an ignorant. You do not have to try.
Well, every Ignan has a name, and a story, and a family.
Staring, contemplating, thinking.
You don't have to tell me. Not yet.
Do you know how many of these types of jobs I have been on?
I would like to.
More than I can remember. Do you know how many? Even say Pushkara.
How many?
If I do not count those here. 3. You do not need to try. You do not need to pretend. I see the fear. I see the distrust. You see and know and wonder, when is the Ignon going to snap? When is the Ignon going to be just another Ignon? Just another beast. That's why you do not try before. You do not need to try. It is what the all lizard folk are used to.
Well, for what it's worth, I've not been waiting for you to snap and burst into flame or throw me into the fire.
Lawrence has never told you about what was said when he went to the Crossbloods and the Twin Blades, did he? When he said he wished to hire me. If he did, you would wonder. You would fear. It isn't normal.
Why did he wish to hire you then?
Because I told him to. You not remember, in the end, I needed a contract to travel, to follow you. They asked him if he would prefer another. Let's see you risk getting his head bitten off. That is what I did to the last one who hired me for a contract. And I do not apologize. But it is normal. All you child races. That is all you see. You see the Ignon. You see the lizard. And that's a fauche cry. You say, lizard, here. Ignon, stand. Beast, fight. Stand before me and take the arrow. Get stabbed so I do not have to worry about it. That is why we hired you. You do not need to pretend or try.
Well,
Be
I find pretending
fine.
to be rather exhausting.
Then what is
Everything
it you
that-
want?
Like I said, I would rather not travel around with strangers. But if you would prefer to remain so, that is your prerogative.
Wish for all of us to be friends. Then
I would like that. I don't know that anyone else would, but
kind of looks away back into the flames and shakes his head. Why? Why
Well-
do you all care so much?
to be rather selfish, this little group is all I have. And so, in spite of the languishing, feeling dejected, feeling used and unwanted, I will have your back, and I will continue to heal all those arrows that you take. I would suggest letting me take them, however, I don't imagine I'll be able to take very many, and I don't know how far this group will get without as many heals as they can get, as they can carry, so... I may not be able to take the arrows, but I can at least heal the wounds.
If I am not strong enough, what will you do then?
Well, from where I stand and where I can count, I'd say we have a handful of people who are more than willing to, well, I wouldn't say more than willing to, but at least willing to carry some of that burden. And I may not be very strong, but I am at least a little bit clever. So, I'm sorry that you got hurt tonight. I should have been a little more clever. But I can heal you. And I will continue to do so.
Foshka takes a deep breath, and you hear like a little bit of wheezing. And then he slowly stands and looks down at you, meeting your eyes again. Do not know my name.
Is it not the one you've given us?
You wish to call me friend, Leora.
I do.
I am Foshkra. Foshkra. And he pauses, as if weighing to decide to continue to say what he is planning on saying. Foshkra is Ashtail. Foshkra is clan.
So we've been calling you by your clan name this whole time?
And he points one claw at the necklace. The first one, the largest. Foshkra. Throshki. Father. And then the second largest. Foshkra. Shaza. Mother. And the smallest. Foshkra. Freaks. Brother. Foshkra. And he taps himself on the forehead. Aksik. Krtsash. You are four. Who knows my name? Leora.
Well, I don't have a cool secondary name reveal, but you do know Acquire folk, so there's that. Your name is lovely. Would you rather me call you Foshkra, or would you rather me call you by your name?
You know my name. To my people. To me. That is trust. Those who do not know my name, who I have not given my name, they do not have the right to know. But you, for the reasons that I am still unsure of, still learning. I want to believe the words you say. You trust me to keep you safe. So I trust you with my name.
Thank you.
I hope I am not wrong.
I don't think you are, but I suppose only time will tell that as well.
His eyes kind of like glance over you, and he points like a claw at the piercings. Do they have meaning? Like mine? And he touches his necklace.
No, none of significance. And then she points down to all the jewels that are pinned and chained to her robe. And then she points to her necklace. And she says, these, though, these represent my parents' love for me and their efforts to keep me safe. So they mean very much to me.
They are connection.
They are.
Reminders. Inspiration for courage and strength. Our necklaces share purpose. I hope your parents still live to provide more.
I hope they live very long and fulfilling lives. And I hope yours do too. And your brother.
At that, his hand drops, and for a while, that he seemed to have like a more relaxed posture. But as soon as you mentioned that, he kind of goes stiff again and just plops back down in front of the fire.
And I feel like I've hogged up enough time. So she's gonna sit and chill next to him.
No.
There's no chilling next to an Ignan.
Roast next to him.
Yes. Reed's going to finish his first prayer, and will stand up and start pacing. Is Lucas available for roleplay purposes?
Not at the present moment. Just
Got
have
it.
to leave relatively soon, but next session, yes.
Skulking.
Correct.
Tut, Hell Knights. Reed will be pacing and will say aloud to the entire chamber, what caused the cave in, I wonder? Is that the work of a yet unseen hand? The little fox could not have done that, not smart enough. The death kiss could not have done that. Too surprised. Who wanted us down here?
The Terran designed the tunnels to collapse, but only they had the knowledge of how.
Have we seen any of these Terran? No. Someone else.
Corrupted Terran. Reed, what did you forget?
You suggest their knowledge passed to the beholder.
I do not know such things. I saw Terran. I know how they build their tunnels, how they dig. That is what I know.
The collapse was timed. It was purposeful. Someone knew we were coming, wanted us down here. Who? I'll turn towards Fenton as he's, I assume, like looking through things in this chamber.
Yeah, probably. Maybe even as a result of you getting the attention of the group, Fenton sets his journal down and sees Chain kind of rummaging up here and starts walking that way.
Bird!
He turns and looks at you.
You've not had another attempt on your life you've not told us about in these tunnels, have you? No.
None that you are unaware of.
I know, I could see that on your face. So, then there is still mystery. Someone we do not know watches us, wants us down here.
I kind of glance over at Leora, just an eye flit over there and back.
Will you attack me if I aid you in searching this place?
For what reason would I? No.
Good.
Sure, yes.
I will walk up and brush past and say something about how fascinating books are as I start rummaging.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check if you are, yeah.
So we have, I think, 3 people that are looking. Chain,
Yes.
Fenton, and I. Do you want us to roll separately, or do you want us to...
Separately. Tell me what you're investigating, though.
I'm going to sniff all the books.
All right. Okay.
And then probably move on to things that have more direct use to me.
All right.
Fenton is specifically looking at tomes, yeah, trying to start with the most
So,
worn in appearance.
The items of interest in this room are the coffin right here, a library right here, and alchemical supplies here, if you'd like to
Ooh,
further specify.
a coffin and
then
alchemy. You can have the books.
This has been out of my range of seeing, apparently, but I will go to the library, yeah.
Okay. I will let there be light in this room. Now that the challenging things are done. Can everyone see now?
I can see.
I can
Alright.
fight.
I can
Wow.
fight. Yeah.
All right, Shane Fenton. What are you up to?
Yeah.
Chain
Oh.
just because Chain was just going to get away from awkwardness. This was like the closest thing, so he's just up at the coffin, looking at that.
Okay.
The alchemy supplies.
Oh.
Oh no!
Chain is really making a really good attempt. He's
Okay, he's still
very focused on
distracted.
this.
He's distracted by the.
All right.
Sonic Dice isn't going to help with that.
Fenton, what are you investigating? The books?
Yes.
All right, I'll start with you, Chain. You're distracted by the luxury of this coffin. There are sort of red velvet cushioning inside of it. It's rather comfortable. It's sort of propped open on one side. It's small compared to what you'd imagine. The only thing you get is you get the impression this was used as a bed a long time ago, rather than being a resting place for something. Fenton, as mentioned, there are a large number of books of the alchemical variety, most of which have annotations in them. The handwriting starts as neat and elegant, but almost consistently at the end of each book it devolves into more scrabbles, more sort of scratchy handwriting. But there's a second set of handwriting that's more blocky, rigid, and more new and fresher ink that basically crosses off each book one by one until a singular book of poetry shows up, upon which there's only a single one that I have posted in the Sending channel.
The lore.
You do note the signature of the first set of handwriting a few times. It reads the words Mutison.
We know that name.
Read the. They smell moldy. It's really nice.
I do love the smell of an old library. Good place for snacks. Makes me hungry.
The thing that interests you the most, Fenton, if you're wandering near the alchemical equipments, is that the majority of the alchemical books involve things like poison. There are a few books that discuss poisons that cannot be cured from, ailments that cannot be healed, weapons that cannot be, weapons that cause wounds that cannot be healed, methods of utter annihilation, destruction, disintegration of a soul. And that is the central crux of the majority of these books and of these equipment. Anything valuable has been long since picked clean, but chain, you settle inside it. It's nice and comfortable, nice and plush. There,
Yes,
Noah.
this will do.
And the
Probably
lid
the
falls
best-
closed with a gentle click and a lock.
There are no signs of motion, silence in the room.
Ah, fine.
But Fenton, read with that 19, there is something that kind of catches your eye, a little notch in the wall of the library that, when scratched, you can hear a mechanism begin to turn and whir, and
Ah.
essentially flip the bookcase embedded in the wall around to reveal 3 individual books. They are all clasped down. One of them is sort of brown leather, seems like a notebook, and the second has already been popped open, and corroborating with the body of the death kiss, or what's left of it, you can see some tattered bits and scraps of parchment that may have at once contained letters but are now indecipherable, that occupied the second slot. And the third is a separate book. Seems to be more valuable recipes.
Okay, so the first one and the third one are still good, but the second one
Second
disintegrated.
The second one has been disintegrated, yes. The Death Kiss accessed before you. That is presumably what he was reading.
Aha, okay. So it's just scattered all over the floor now.
It is, quote, marinara.
I love lore. I'll reach forward for the books and offer them reverently to Fenton. Story time.
Yeah, seeing this secret chamber open with these books, Fenton might not want to be near you, but now he does, and yeah, he's he's at your side.
The first one seems to be a journal. The majority of the pages have been scrapped and scratched out, but there are 2 passages flipping through its sort of dusty containers that might have interest to you. The first is an explanation that if you are reading this, you have triggered a long-standing contingency spell to collapse into this lair, and that you must be a choir folk to have done so.
What?
You get the sense that some spell was cast by the former owner of this lair, so that should a choir folk wander through, it would trigger some explosive mechanism that would collapse you into it. The second is a note by a man named Mutison. Introduces himself as an alchemist. He says that he has been alive for longer than he wishes to, and has moved from this place to pursue further means of advanced destruction of his own soul.
Damn. Okay.
He seems to have been an alchemist. His experimentation was to end vampirism in some way. It seems to have failed, but was relocated closer to what he says.
Wait, that falls in line with a plot point from Curious, doesn't it?
Does it?
There are no dots, only lines.
I believe that that plot point though is only known to Leora at the moment.
Correct. Lyra, you were informed by Lord Sinai that he himself cannot aid you, but another choir folk, the only other one he knows to currently still exist, is a man named Mutison, somewhere in the Tlani Basin. Sinai said that he would help.
Okay. So this was Mutison's lair
Formerly.
formerly.
Seems
Yes.
to have been moved in some time ago.
Just a quick little field trip to Thursdays.
Just a quick trip.
Just
20 minutes in and out.
I just want to
The
look, I swear.
third book is a description of a weapon, an artifact known as the Fang of Shrivasi, containing a poison that can kill even undead. It results in the utter annihilation of the soul, spirit, and everything it stands for. It has been used to kill Aditi.
Oh.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Mutison was researching an artifact that he in his own handwriting suggests was used to kill the former DT of Neutral Good Alignment, the Neutral Good, the Forgotten Queen.
Don't let
That
Reed
is
read
what
that book.
he wants off to find.
Okay, so wow, Fenton already having been rummaging through books, so he has just gotten to the point where he's found this most notated book and barely begun reading this poem. Eyes kind of widening as he's connecting dots with Vilderaven when Reed pops open this other chamber, and Fenton begins to thumb through these books as well. Upon seeing that first notable journal entry, I'll pause. Reed, I believe I do have an answer to your question. It seems no trap was specifically laid for the group of us, which is relieving. And I'll read some of the journal entry to Reed. It seems Leora's mere existence was enough to bring us here.
Reed is sitting cross-legged with like the biggest smile. It's all teeth. Fascinating.
Unsettling.
It's his best Jackal impression.
Oh gosh. And then I think Fenton will pause there and finish reading the poem and share some of that with Reed as well. This presumably I assume that these notations are from the Death Kiss, but interested in Vilderaven as well.
Then we are connected to the Death Kiss. One less connection to worry about now.
Yes. Yes, presumably I am very much hoping now here we have finally lost the trail, at least for a time, of whoever may be trying to track us down.
It is still us against the world, but we are strong.
Fenton will kind of ignore that and go back to the journal and read on these other pieces of information. I think I'll share it all with Reed though, as I find anything of interest.
Chain is a comfy burb. Laying in this nice silky coffin.
Trying to
Bird.
forget about the day and slowly fluffing up.
The bird has found his box.
He's pre-made.
It's a coffin.
It's still a box.
I think getting to the details about the Fangish Ravasi, I'll pause for a little while and contemplate sharing it with Reed, but I will do so, and Fenton is pleased with the mental loop that he has now formed back to the drawing that he had just completed of the Forgotten Queen by the bonfire, still in his journal.
Yeah. Speak of beautiful poetry of a child of a god killed, then a forgotten deity and a weapon of killing gods.
A weapon of killing gods, indeed, presumably. A weapon of destroying mind, flesh, and soul.
Then the creature we have. I'll hold my hand up, fingers spaced just far enough for a shard of a tear to fit between them. Is a god slayer.
Perhaps a child of Irika. I think it is a bit of a jump to call that a god in themselves. Perhaps just a Vulpanal, maybe one of some renown. In any case, it doesn't paint a lovely picture of the creature we have stumbled into.
Nor does it lower our expectations for this beholder. They know much.
Yes, that is...
Information could be useful for our journey.
As much as I hate the idea of detouring to encounter a beholder, you are not wrong. That is very likely information we will not find in Estelheim in any case.
I am not so sure. Why is the little fox in Estelheim blind? Fenton, answer that.
You are very likely correct. I haven't given it much thought, but now it seems obvious.
I can't wait for destiny. This is glorious and so much larger than I ever thought I would be.
I would caution you against excitement until we have some more definite answers, but... well, I believe you told me I see... what was it? Patterns in chaos? There are many patterns here.
Yes. I believe we are poking our head into someone's long-standing plans. Let's make sure our claws are sharp.
I'm sure we will need them again, yes. Our minds as well, though. I would rather outthink and outtalk anything that has the power to kill a god, rather than confront it directly.
I'm sure we will do both in our time.
Fenton will give Reed kind of a long look, like he wants to say more, but I don't think he will. I think he'll collect the tomes here and return to his journal to piece some things together.
You should read me the rest of that sometime.
Yes, I would do so. I think it is information we should all be privy to, and well, you include it. I will do just that.
Oh no, the knoll's approaching.
All right. I do have to head out, but you guys have a good one. Take care. If you have questions, I'll be available to answer them through text. So go and give me a ping, and I shall be able to respond.
Of course.
But have
Thanks, Phil.
fun.
Have a
Take
good night,
care.
Phil.
Good night.
I go from bird to little bird.
Do not disturb the little bird's comfort.
I'm so fucking comfy.
I think he's needed this. He had quite a bit of shell shock.
Reed is going to make use of his negative charisma modifier. Gonna circle the coffin, inspect it, not you, but it from all sides. Too rich.
Speak for yourself. This is great.
This is a choir folk bed.
I think I call dibs for the night.
Very well. I often wonder what a beak with fangs would look like. He'll walk off.
Shane like shoots just like straight up like, what?
give the Kenku more anxiety. Why don't you?
Fucking Reed.
And then Reed will go and examine something a little bit more familiar to him, and all the alchemist supplies.
Gonna do more sniff snuff.
Yes, I am somewhat familiar with the sort of science that goes goop. I have blown up 1 or 2 buildings in my time.
And a Kenku.
And a Kenku, but
Was
that was more of like my moment of, oh, alchemy can be fun. Wait, no, useful, not.
Wait a minute.
I will, while other people think of scenes with which to fill the next 12 hours before I have to leave for work.
A 13-hour
will-
shift has to be preceded by a 14-hour roleplay session.
Yes, of course.
Who needs sleep when you utilizing heavy machinery?
Or Brian.
I think there's machinery involved in making brine.
There is, and I will be using it, but not for brine purposes because once the freezing starts, brine doesn't work anymore. It's only pre-treatment.
But it's salt. And salt melts ice.
To a degree.
Just not
Um,
negative degrees.
Fenton has so much to read and write. He's going to be sitting by the fire doing that unless someone approaches him. That is all I got left.
What is Lawrence doing at the moment? Where is he?
Lawrence is just kind of sitting crisscross on his bedroll, kind of shuffling cards between his hands. He's taking a long time to look at the faces of the cards.
I think maybe after a long while of sitting in front of the fire, Fostra's just gonna get frustrated with himself of just sitting there staring, and decides that he needs to get up and walk around, despite his wound. And he's gonna pause, just as he's walking by Lawrence, and just his eyes catching the shuffling of the cards, and curiously cocks his head. Lawrence would probably hear the tinkling of the decorations in his hair.
Lawrence will look up. What can I do for you?
And then Foshker looks away from the cards and then looks over to the marinara that once was the death kiss.
Ah,
You did well.
well, I don't. I guess so. I'm a little frightened by what I did.
Kind of cocks his head again in a confused look. Frightened of strength. Your strength.
Yes, I've seen people with strength, with power before, and I don't want to be that kind of person that I've seen in my life. They abuse what they've either been given or worked for against people who have no choice but to follow their every whim, lest, well, I think you can get the picture from there. So I am somewhat afraid of becoming like that.
It is a good fear. Which means you will not.
I appreciate you saying. You nearly. Are you okay?
Foshker looks down at the still sickly white hole in the middle of his torso. Kind of touches it winces a little bit. I breathe, and so I live. Which
Yes.
I find I must thank you for. I did not do well.
I think we all have our moments, which we try and we just end up with the worst hand that can be dealt.
Yes. I do not know magic, the spells and sorcery that my people wield that do not have that talent. So I do not know what it was that our enemy here did to cause my claws to miss. To be impotent. Well, I was weak today. You were strong.
I hope to continue to be.
Then do not fear your strength.
I will think about it.
Mm.
I see you've been looking at my cards.
The thing you do.
You mean this? And he takes a moment to fan out the cards between two of his palms, spreading them out, just letting the cards fall between them, and then putting the deck back together.
Is that magic as well?
Ah, no, it's not. It's all in the hands. It's a trick, an illusion of the physical.
It is a skill you have
Yes.
trained for.
Trained is a little too serious of a word. It was really the only pastime I had in the sands.
Kind of, his head kind of like pops back on his head, neck a little bit. The only pastime, the only thing to do in the sands.
Not the only thing to do, but the only thing I could consider entertainment. A hobby.
You did not ever go and capture the baby giant scorpions and have them fight.
You see, I was confined to a certain area inside Kalik. I'm not sure how to say this. I did not have the freedom people assume that I have.
Yet you lived within one of the cities.
I did live within one of the cities, but I did not really live. When you told me what I've forgotten, back when we renewed the contract, about the man who is trying to open one on me, my life belonged to him in a way of there is no easy way to say this. I was his property.
Someone laid claim to you.
Yes. I was his slave.
Kind of like shakes his head a little bit. What is it about all those who live in cities that makes them think that they can control, possess everything else, including others? It is not right.
No, it isn't right. Not in the least, but I've seen too much to believe in justice, really. The man took more than my life. Took everything that I thought I even had. So I fear going back to the sands. I fear him. And in part, I fear what I will do to him given the opportunity.
My brother, in his letter, said Gallic has changed hands.
Yes.
Was it the Dragonborn? Or is it the Leonin?
Leonin. His name is Mahez. Right. Bastard he is.
You hate him.
I despise his existence. And I find it's a stain. It's a stain on this world. For what he fucking did. Not just to me, but sorry.
Do not apologize. You wish vengeance upon him. And he takes a step closer.
Excuse me for 1 second.
Hey, Charlie.
Val is missing all of the Charlie sounds.
Oh,
Charlie!
We should record the Charlie sounds and make it a soundboard.
just trick him.
Make it a chain board.
Yeah, and then
God.
Shane will have a Charlie meow
Oh,
for when he needs to make a cat in game.
Lord.
Wow.
Come on,
Charlie
just one
knows
more,
the
just one more.
sadness.
Come on, Charlie, give us a good one.
Come on.
Nice.
I think he's hungry. Okay, I'm gonna get him a little bit more food.
Oh, it's not like he actually cares about you.
I think he heard and resented that remark.
Well, then you better change.
You first.
Can't
Oh, well,
believe
I
Ray just
am.
dropped one of the most fucking disturbing lines and then walked away.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah, I was wondering throughout all of that, like, are these the lines he said he's been like going through in his head, or is that something that we still haven't come across?
What lines?
All the lines.
We might be
No
approaching
dots.
there.
Only
Turns out
lines.
his bowl is full of food. He just is kind of dumb.
He just
Random.
likes to sing and let the world know he's here.
Yes, he is very vocal. Got to get back into character.
Serious
All right.
moment.
Laura
Where
trying to
were
get
we?
ready to cry again, and then Charlie comes up.
I think I forgot my place. Where were we?
Foshkra had asked or told Lorenz to not apologize, and asked him if he wishes vengeance, and then he took a step closer to Lorenz
Mhm.
as he said it.
Okay. I feel like vengeance is a Far Cry dream, but if I had it, I do not know whether or not I would kill him rather than make him suffer. Make him suffer like he did. I've never told anyone this before, but he took something that mattered more to me than anything else in the world. He took someone from me, their life, too early. He was the only close friend I've ever had in Kalek. We were both in the same situation, planning to run away together. And, well, the night before his, we had stolen gold to make our escape. He had taken some of it to purchase a little pair of earrings, same ones I wear now. I argued with him. We were mad and fed up with each other. And the next morning, I watched him die. He was beaten, unrecognizable. And I could just stand there and watch. After my eyes was done with him, he turned to me and asked me to find the earrings he had ripped from his ears. Of course, it had gotten lost in the fury of his fucking rage. I found them, decided I had enough, and ran away. And like a savior, I fell into that hole into the astral. And that's where it all started. So now I guess I carry these stupid earrings because it's all I have left of him. And even the memory that I have, the last time we spoke, I was angry at him, and I would give anything just to let him know that I loved him. He should have died knowing that. At the very least, he should have known. I can't keep it any longer.
Foshkura takes a deep breath, still wheezing a little bit as he does. Glances over to Leora, and then he kneels down, places one hand on Lorenz's shoulder.
Loren's gonna look up. His eyes are red and watery, of course.
It seems that many of us carry tokens to remind us of those we gain strength for.
He taps the fang necklace.
These are my family. Mother, father, brother.
Lorenz nods his head.
I only write to my brother, Lorenz. It is him who I gather strength. So when I return to the suns, I can ensure that he will never need to worry about needing to return to the land before his time. You are here. You are stronger than you were. That is proof.
Shakes his head back towards the blood puddle.
Stars. I suppose you're right. In a way.
When you return to the suns, Lorenz, because you must return to the suns, that man blood repaid with blood.
Yes. A life for a life.
Life for life, blood for blood, rage, fire, fuel. It is not something to be afraid of. channeled, controlled, used. Do not forget your friend. Do not forget those you love and care for.
And I don't have a translation for this yet, but in Ignan, he's gonna say a phrase in Ignan, and then he's gonna say it again in common.
Do not mourn the fallen, but they return to the land.
Lorenz is going to take a deep breath, sort of regain his composure, though his eyes are still quite red, and he gives a determined look to Foshgra and nods his head. I understand.
You are not of the folk, so I will not say the rest of the prayer.
I thank you for what you have said.
I will not make a promise I cannot keep. But if we were to meet this man in the sands, and I can at least call you ally, perhaps I will show him a true meaning of rage and allow you to do the same. Besides, it would be nice to finally get inside one of these cities in the sands.
I would like that very much.
Now, you have a reason, another. Do not fear the strength you gather. It has purpose. You will use it as you need to keep yourself strong, to protect those you care about. And repay that which has been granted to you 1,000-fold.
That's right.
The spirit of the sands. It is with you, Lawrence.
It is. And I will not forget.
Never forget. Remember the fallen. They give you strength. They guide you. But do not mourn them. It is not sadness the dead seek from the living.
He's gonna pat him on the shoulder and then stand back up again.
Lorenz is he's taking one of the earrings off of his ear to sort of look at it, his thumb running over the golden little rectangular circlet, and he's going to hold it to his chest and internalize what Foshgra said about the fallen giving strength, having strength for them as well, not mourning. and you can definitely tell that he is reinvigorated with, instead of the, he's still quite saddened, but he has chosen to embrace the anger and the rage that he feels to push him forward.
Fushka nods. Once. Quickly.
You'll be okay.
And he turns to just walk around.
As it should be.
Shoot, how do we follow that up?
Yeah, and then unless Lauren stops him, Fushka just starts meandering around.
His turn to check on everybody.
Not purposely.
When you pass by Reed, Reed will make the quick comment. I have poisoned myself.
Reed says that to Fushka. Wait, Reed says that to Fushka as he walks by?
Yes.
Mid-stride, 1 foot barely, just the tips of his toes touching the ground. He freezes and looks over at Reed with a very confused look.
Fucking dying. Oh my god.
Close the coffin.
Now I'm crying for a different reason. Jesus Christ.
I just got whiplash. Oh my god.
Right? Jesus.
This is the first serious character I have played, but I have a decade's experience of playing silly comedy characters.
The whimsy must come out.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's fucking hot in here now. Jesus.
Oh,
It's getting hot in here.
Oh God.
So,
Take off my chain cloak.
Lore is the opener to our comedy club.
Oh my God.
Well, you need to break the tension with a bit of levity. You can't have constant,
Oh my god.
You need comedic relief, or else it gets too tense and people can't relax, and then they become numb to emotion.
So,
Relax.
Leora has chosen compassion. Lore has chosen the path of hate.
Hey, that's my job.
He learns well from the ignorant.
Oh yes.
Don't burn up, Lore.
Mayhaps
burn very hot.
Mayhaps Lawrence will pick up some magics that burn brightly at some point.
Fireball.
Scorching Ray and Fireball are two very nice spells.
Actually, he is already on track.
Yes.
I don't care how good your name is. I said
I do like the dichotomy of like Foshkra comforting a Vulpinal about souls going to the land when it's the Vulpinal belief of souls going to the sky.
Well, Foshkra was comforting him in the way that Foshkra knows.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he's the fact that he still thinks that doesn't know anything about choir folk and just thinks that they're just another of the child races.
Yeah, I thought about bringing that up, but it was not the time. Like, I could argue that, but I'm gonna let that slide for now. I'm making a friend.
We've been in
Oh.
these caves so long, we don't even know what time is anymore.
Time is gone. And
Um,
Laura's gonna have another nightmare after he goes to sleep. We know that for a fact.
we're gonna wake up, and as soon as we are done eating breakfast and whatnot, Lawrence is gonna get another migraine.
Hmm.
This time
Then
it's
we
gonna
level
be
up
nuts.
again.
It's got to be a method of communication. I mean, the snake says you have such wonderful dreams, and Lore is having visions, not dreams.
Yeah.
You
This
can-
has to be some form of communication.
Also,
well,
go ahead.
I was gonna say the Yonti consume the dreams, so
Yeah.
Yum.
Fel has not asked Foshgriff for a dream yet, so that's curious.
Obviously, lizard folk can't have dreams.
I do believe that Fel posted the dream sequence for the upcoming long rest already for Lorenz.
Yes. Correct.
So,
Ah, yeah.
Did he really?
Oh
yes.
yeah. He
Well,
did.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was
think
like
that was
the
the,
day or two after the session. Yeah.
Mhm.
The airship one with Guntier, I think.
Oh, that's right.
Lorenz still needs to talk to Fenton about it.
There's a lot going
But that's after we go to sleep this time, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh
He
no!
still hasn't talked to Fenton about the first one.
I anticipated talking to you tonight, but I don't think I don't think the cards played that way. I
I see
will
what you
say,
did there.
thank you so much. I will say, around the fire, Fenton will kind of, as he's journaling and studying, freely share information, particularly with Leora, but whoever else ends up around the fire as is relevant. I think I'll definitely. We don't need to play it out, but I'll definitely share with her the supposedly choir folk author Mutison and the reason for the trap going off as well.
Yeah, Foshgriff's shaking his head at what Reed's comment. It's like, can you not just heal yourself?
I imagine I would feel much worse if all of me was null.
None of that makes sense, Reed.
He will continue kind of rifling through the supplies.
Foshgriff just shakes his head again and makes his circuit, walks up, looks at Chain, doesn't say anything, comes back to the fire.
As Foskra comes like up towards Chain, and Chain seems to be approaching, he's just gonna go, "Come to take back your words."
What words?
You going on and on this morning about how courageous I am.
Is Chain wearing the necklace?
No, it's in his bag.
Did you not fight today?
It's not like I had a chance not to. But I
Then I
stood
will
there
not.
while you were being held by whatever that thing was.
You did what you could. You fought. You tried. Imagine you did better than I did. So no, I will not take back my words, for you have not proven them untrue.
Chain just kind of sighs and lays his head back down in the bed coffin. Before remembering Reed's creepy comment and getting up and out of the coffin.
Ding ding.
And,
Room service, snacks.
And if Foshka doesn't have anything, anything else to say or doesn't stop Chain, Chain's gonna go down. He's gonna stand over Fenton.
Uh-oh.
As Chain leaves, the only thing Fosher's gonna do, he's just gonna look in the coffin. Fel said it was like lined with like some comfortable stuff, right?
Yeah.
Made to be comfy.
That's all that I saw with my Nat 1 investigation check.
So Fosher's gonna.
It looked comfy.
Fosher's gonna reach in, grab the padding, and rip it out.
Oh.
As Chain hears this, he like turns around, just like this look of like betrayal and hurt. Just, what are you doing?
He just walks down, doesn't say a word, comes over to the fire. While he's walking down the stairs, he's kind of like bundling up the padding that he ripped out, and then he just holds it out to Chain.
You doesn't done on your bedroll. Here.
What did he say?
He said,
You doesn't done on your bedroll. Here.
Chain's beak is just like agape.
"Barbarian do what barbarian do."
I can't wait for Phil to listen back to this and just be like, yeah, no, the coffin explodes.
Yeah, it was trapped.
Surprise.
First nesting material.
It's going to be more like Foshkris, the one that's going to see all the hidden items that were inside the coffin.
Yeah, surprise.
There's like a
There's
freaking
shards
wand.
in there.
Yeah, like a wand or something in there.
Look, there's all 28 shards.
28.
All shards.
You won D&D.
It's like, what? 28?
There's like a pile of gold or something in there.
And an oddly magical set of playing cards.
And also all the
What?
materials for an airship.
What?
And the Fang of Shavasi.
Hell
Oh.
yeah.
Oh no, here's a belt that gives the wearer like +2 dexterity.
Mine.
I need the AC.
No. I need the AC and the hit chance and the damage.
The belt for the stone. Give me the strength, you get the dex.
Bro, if you ask for the stone right now, Chain would give it to you. He's disappointed that he fucking got Vilderavn and not not great.
Well, now we know more about Vilderavn.
Chain doesn't yet.
The conversation hasn't naturally progressed to the point where Foshker's gonna ask for the stone. He's still mulling over the impotence of the fight. And hasn't reached that conclusion yet.
When will you allow yourselves to be happy?
Reading the
When the world
Campfire
is in the palm of my
Campfire.
hands.
Oh look, there's a globe over there.
When there's nothing but
I'm gonna
pyramids
kill
of
this exit.
bodies in my wake.
Okay, Birdie, what do you want?
Currently,
Evil.
Are you
fountain.
taking the padding?
after a long moment of Chain looking like you just like did like the most he's like fucking betrayed him, like takes the padding and
The entire time Foshker is literally just standing there with his hand out holding it. Just flat faced.
it looks like you just like shit in fucking Chain's Cheerios, like.
There you go. Now you have some fancy, comfy padding from inside the coffin.
Add that to your inventory.
I guess. Yeah, I guess.
You have a nicer pillow now.
I still have the pillow I stole from the inn.
I didn't know you stole the pillow from the inn.
Yeah, I stole one. God. Shane will never know a comfy night's rest.
You'll be comfier now. You have,
This is a
comfy
very
padding.
quotable session indeed.
All of it after Lore's attempt at breaking everybody again.
Attempt? What do you mean attempt?
Lore has not
Attempt
yet
at breaking
earned
everyone.
the
Still hasn't broken me.
achievement.
Oh, Jesus.
If I was not multitasking while he was giving his speech, I probably would have broken.
No.
But I was trying to figure out some stuff.
The lizard is still dry-eyed.
I was trying to put together plot points from what he said, and not a whole lot is coming together, so this is all like fresh new information in the Ferb brain.
So I did have to get out of my chair for a second. Did I get anyone?
Oh, man.
I don't care. I was the only one.
What about Fenton?
I did not. I was a little listening, but also a little playing a pamphlet.
You
was totally
fucking
listening.
bard.
Okay.
You fucking bard.
Fenton,
Don't worry, Laura. I listened to your trauma.
I listen.
I listened too.
I listened.
Obviously, I was taking part of it.
I am happy to have another person on our kill list.
It just didn't, break me.
Okay. Anywho,
My wife says I'm soulless for a reason, okay?
Soulless or
well, then you should
heartless?
rest comfortably knowing that the Fang of Shavasi won't work on you. Fucking secret Yuan-Ti. Soulless bastard. Okay, anywho, after Chain somewhat recovers from the shock of having his play in bed for the night destroyed,
But you abandoned it.
that doesn't mean he wasn't going to go back to it.
Well, you didn't say that. Too late now.
He didn't have a chance to say it. Folks just went, this looks comfy and it's empty now. Rip.
Yup. He's,
I called
taught
dibs on it and everything.
you roll. He taught you how to roll your bedroll. Now he's teaching you how to make it more comfy.
I'm gonna teach him to stop touching my shit.
It wasn't your shit.
I called dibs on it, so it was mine.
He didn't hear it.
That's
He
your
wasn't there.
problem, not mine. Anywho, again, once Chain like somewhat recovers from this scene betrayal, he turns back to Fenton.
Are you sure you've recovered?
I haven't. Jesus. Every time I think I know where this thing's fucking going. Oh God.
Come on, breathe. Take it in.
It's not that. It's that I fucking forgot what I was gonna say. I have to
Oh,
come up with
no.
words. I know what I was gonna talk about, but I had like words planned, and now those words are gone.
Suffering.
You're welcome.
Bitch.
No dogs in this party.
Turn to Fenton.
Give me a moment. Jesus.
Quick, everyone gang up on Fenton.
I was going to say, in the meantime, Fenton, you did say that you were telling me about the things that you had learned.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got all these texts laid out in front of me.
Okay. So she would turn to Fenton and ask, does this mean that it was me who caused all of this?
All of this is quite broad, but the cave-in, yes, I believe so.
Hmm.
Not that it's truly something that could have been avoided, and all things considered, perhaps this path was indeed for the best. There is a lot of relevant information here.
Right. Uh, when I was able to right myself from the cave-in, I was stood in a pool of blood. And in the center of that pool, there was it had to have been an altar, but there was, it seemed like a stone pedestal of sorts and a chest that laid in the center of it. There was something inside of there. And what was the name that you read?
Fenton will kind of flip back to one of the signed journal entries. Mutacin.
I know that name. That was, there was a moment where Sinai spoke with me. He mentioned that name. He said that he was like me. He said that he might be able to help. And she just looks a little frazzled and scattered, trying to connect all the little pieces in her mind. Inside that chest, there was a sending pearl. Do you think that I was supposed to land there? That I was supposed to find that?
Well, that seems quite likely, doesn't it? A sending pearl, you say?
Yes. I wasn't. I had no idea who it could have belonged to, who would be on the other side of it. But do you think that it's his? I mean, that has to be. This had to have been his cavern. He set it up so that the next choir folk that came across this place would be able to find him, or at least contact him.
Yes, that seems incredibly likely. Was the chest locked in any way? The only hole here seems to be why no one would have taken the pearl before.
It wasn't locked. At least it opened for me. I don't know if it would have worked for anybody else.
Perhaps another contingency? Or as you mentioned, it was in the middle of a pool of blood, was it not? In any case, yes, that seems highly likely. I was already suspecting that another like Sinai was the previous owner of these caverns, but that all but confirms it if you are familiar indeed with the name.
I am. I think I'm going to use the pearl.
I think you should if you need assistance in figuring out what to say, running off of these assumptions, I'd be happy to help. 25 words. That's all you'll get. That's all you'll get in return as well.
25 words. I can work with that.
Good. Good. Perhaps we can set our course for some answers in that case. The kind that, well, the kind I promised to help you find. It seems you may be finding them on your own.
Certainly with your help at least. Thank you for sharing this with me.
Of course, I do hope it is a fruitful path. You mentioned, oh, I guess we all observed that Sinai was less than ideal in nature, but it's worth learning in any case.
Right. Well, hopefully this one will be a little more understanding, and I'll have a little more footing to keep all of you safe.
Yes, good. Very good.
And with that, she would walk away to her own little area and kind of pace with the pearl in her hand as she tries to figure out what to say.
Ah, yes! It's all coming together. Gosh,
Fenton goes back to his journal.
I know it's the way it's going to happen, but I really do hope you are not the last living choir folk.
The last living regular choir folk, you mean?
Living as in not undead, yes.
If you
Who
want
knows?
the OOC answer that I was given, I can tell you, or we can just wait and find out.
No spoilers.
No, wait and
Okay.
find out.
I mean, it's Fel. I already know what Fel likes to do, but no spoilers.
Understood.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
You got your words back?
I think so. Dick.
All right, word number 1, Dick.
So yeah, Chain, after taking the padding from Foskra, who I got confirmation from Fel, the coffin is just a bed, so nothing happened. You didn't blow up. Be thankful. Fenton, the Yuan-Ti that you ran into in Alusker, you said it was a white Yuan-Ti, right?
Yes, yeah, I only got a glimpse of it, admittedly, but definitely white-scaled and definitely a Yuan-Ti.
Well, this is a bit of a long shot, but I don't really have a description of them, but I heard them speak, and I want you to tell me if the voice is the one that you heard. I'm gonna use my real fucking dice this time, so roll 20 can't fuck me with whatever the hell it did last time. It's a 17 plus
Hell yeah.
I have 22. So yeah, that means I can. That's definitely enough for me to just fucking use my soundboard. Hold on, where did I put it?
Ooh.
There we go.
Whoa.
Your ears functionally seem to me that they are. I'll remove them if you don't tell me where. I asked you again.
And that is it.
Well, now have
And-
you yeah.
I have confirmation from Fel that it is the same. It is the same voice, so the same Yuan-Ti.
Yeah, Fenton's eyes will widen just slightly as you mimic this voice. I cannot say for sure, Chain, but that does sound very, very similar. Granted, I've never met or heard another, but that is a good assumption. Where did you hear that voice before?
I heard that voice 3 years ago on my first mission, I guess, for initiation into the group that I work with.
This was a friend or a foe at the time?
Um, let's just say he was after something that I beat him to.
So a competitor, then.
Um, what all did he say to you?
Well, first he had a grand time impersonating Taraji. And then he began to press in, still in the disguise, regarding what we encountered in Cures. He turned those questions more specifically to the party, I believe trying to discern which of us matched the description. But once he changed into his presumably true form, he essentially told me to shut up and keep my beak out of things that don't belong in.
Hmm. I don't think it's exactly a good thing that he's following us.
Of course, it's not a good thing.
Well, not just. This goes beyond just, oh, somebody's following us, that's bad. I can't tell you what I was after, but him being after the same thing and then still being that close 3 years later and coming after you to keep your beak shut.
Do you
I don't
still have
know.
it?
Personally, no.
Hmm.
It wasn't to steal for myself. Like I said, it was an initiation, a test of sorts.
And yet he follows you, but the rest of us.
That's what I'm saying. He's had 3 years to make any sort of move. Why is he coming out now to tell you to keep your beak shut about something that at least I can't find any connections to?
Another puzzle to put together, but once again, these things seem connected in some way. Choir folk and Yonti, I do wish I had spent more time studying them.
I miss the safety of the walls. Things were simpler there.
Yes. I miss simple times as well. Admittedly less exciting. but I think I've had enough excitement.
Oh, I found plenty of excitement. This is out of my wheelhouse.
As it is for all of us. I can only imagine. This is not the kind of path. These are not the kind of events that happen more than once or twice every couple hundred of years.
Jane looks over to Reed in the distance, throwing things and being poisoned. And it's like, I don't know, I think there's at least one of us that seems pretty comfortable.
Comfortable, it's maybe not the word for him, but confidence, maybe. I don't know. Can't help but feel he understands more than he lets on, or more than he's able to describe. But we are heading for answers, or that's what we are telling ourselves.
Well, I don't have any other connections, unfortunately. I don't. It's just disturbing that this same individual is popping up 3 years later.
I agree. Yonti are not numerous. From what I understand, they dwell in shadows and they dwell in small circles. So whatever it is your group was interested in, I assume it is all related in some way. I
This is
appreciate
the
the connection.
Sorry.
You're good, Fushka.
this is the one who had you in the alley.
One and the same, supposedly.
How does it disappear completely?
Well, I don't believe any of us are able to see invisibility. It's not too uncommon a trick.
It was gone. I attacked where it stood. There was nothing but air.
Combine a bit of quick movement, a bit of spell work. There are quicker ways to move as well. Could have even stepped into a different plane for a moment. In any case, there are many ways for a proficient arcanist to slip away unseen.
You're lucky you have all your limbs in your life, honestly.
I am. At that, I am very fortunate.
Because the way that I heard him, he was torturing the Lord of the House for information, and that's where that voice and those words came from. So the fact that you got a pinprick and a tongue lashing,
I do count myself lucky, but it does paint a new picture of our Yanti here, does it not? Of course, it was alarming to have a sword and a needle at my neck, but I do not believe he ever intended to kill me. Had Foshkra and Reed not shown up when they did, perhaps I would have been maimed in some way, but it was certainly a warning more than it was. If he wanted to kill me, he probably could have. I will admit that much.
Do you have ways of being more secure if this thing follows? To watch, to see.
I think it very well might. I don't intend to fly off on my own again.
But if it can follow and we cannot see, how can one protect our camp? Ensure it does not slip in as we sleep.
And perhaps it will, but if the thing has been keeping an eye, at least on Jane here, for 3 years, I have my doubts it intends to kill any of us. At least not until the timing's right, or until it can take what it wants from our pockets, from our dreams, from our heads. I don't know how to better defend ourselves, but we can stay alert.
Shane is going to take out his water skin. He's going to start like drinking from it, and then like one of the gulps, he swallows a lot harder than the others, and he is going to swallow the he's going to swallow the shard again.
Observing that, Fenton just kind of nods.
Foshgra did not notice.
Oh, poor
Harvey-
Vilderavin. Yeah, okay.
Or if he did notice, he probably just passed it off as like Shane took a gulp too big.
Such a simple-minded man.
Don't worry, we'll Heimlich you later.
In any
Leave
case,
me alone.
we should be certain to be diligent about our watches, of course. Maybe more so than ever. But we need to rest, regardless.
On that note,
Shane's going to look longingly back up at the coffin.
But you have the padding now. You can take it with you.
It's not the same. You don't understand.
He wants to feel. He wants to live like the other side lives.
Oh, wait, maybe you could just like put it back in there for the night.
It won't be the same. The craftsmanship is ruined.
Reed will pop around from around the corner. Bird.
I'll look over there to confirm I am Bird still.
You are still Bird.
I'm looking.
Hi. Do you have time available for aiding me? I need it.
I'll kind of
that does not
sigh
sound
and
creepy at all.
close some of these, mark where I was at in some of these pages and stand up and come over to you, yes?
There was one book of alchemical knowledge. I wish
Yes.
to know its contents.
A budding alchemist, are you?
I have tasted all of the supplies here. There are some I do not recognize.
Oh my god.
Fucking Skyrim logic.
Sure. Yes, Reed. If identifying ingredients is your end goal, I'm sure there are better methods. Is that all you wish to gain from such a tome, or are you hoping to create some recipes of your own?
I do what my will is. My will is to learn.
Then yes. Yes, perhaps not at this very moment. I do think rest is necessary, but I would be happy to help you work through this tome.
Excellent. go sleep. I will continue putting things together here.
I recommend not putting any more into you, but do as you will.
It was short-lived.
That's what he meant by he poisoned himself.
Not the only thing short-lived around here.
You say to the creature with the highest hit points.
So,
All right, if there's a little gap between speaking, I have figured out what I'm going to say, and also I have gotten response for the sending pearl. So I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Oh,
Unless
Lord.
somebody else wants to do stuff first.
No, do it.
Okay. So Leora would take the pearl out of her pocket and she would crush it in her palm. And whenever she opened it, she would watch the little glittering pearlescent bits drop out of her hand. And she would say, I am Leora. I am unlike you. I live. Sinai mentioned your name. Snakes know I live. Unsure if safe. What now? Help me, please. And Fel said that there is an immediate response with a nasally, rapid voice speaking quickly, which I will not replicate because I am not that confident in myself. But the response is, sorry about the tumble. I'm in Thurisaz. We'll talk there. Potions in blood pool. They'll help. Stay alive. You'll be okay. Trust yourself, not snakes. He said there was also the burning impression of an image of another choir folk in my mind. Thin, small in stature, fluffy orange chest fur indicative of a fruit bat, wearing alchemical goggles.
Fruit bat.
Fruit bat! Fluffy!
We love him.
why couldn't
So-
we met this one first?
Real.
Right?
They live in Thursas. There's gonna be a catch.
Well, yeah.
It's where they
So
can
he's
practice.
obviously friend.
It's
Look,
where he can
I'm-
practice his alchemy without being judged or chased away.
So, nasally, fast talking alchemists are obviously high off their own supply.
Oh no.
If he is vampiric, then he's been feeding off of gnolls.
Ooh, oh, that's
This
bad.
creature is almost kobold coated.
Dude,
Almost.
I am scrubbing that from the recording. This recording never existed.
Smitten, smited.
Fenton dies next session.
The auntie comes back.
Says you have not kept your beak shut.
With that information in mind, I will head back towards the fire where everybody's pretty much centrally located except for Reed. He's tasting potions.
I'm
He's
worried
off.
there might be an explosion, so I'm staying off to the side.
Understandable, thank you.
Reed's eating the paint chips.
Anyway, I would go up to everybody and I would say, I would look directly at Fenton and say, I used the pearl. I got a response. There are potions where I fell in that I just didn't find in the chaos. We need to go back there and pick those up.
Most definitely. It was what we assumed.
Yes.
What you assumed. And it's promising. Potions are help immediately.
He said that he was in Thurisaz and that we would talk there.
Well, that implies that we are going to Therizaz at some point, but it's hard to say no to an invitation like that.
I'm not ready for that city.
Maybe we keep pursuing our current tasks first, if he's waited this long.
I mean, we were going to Thursday at some point, anyways, weren't we? After Estelheim.
Most definitely.
He's not gonna kill a bunch of people in front of us, right?
I hope not. I really hope not.
Hmm.
But I will stand between him and us. I will not let him. I don't know what he'll do, but I won't let him harm any of you. And with that, she's going to start heading back to where she originated from, which is literally like right around the corner in the pool of blood. Fel said it was safe, so I'm not going to run into any issues. She will look over her shoulder, though, and say, if anybody would like to help acquire the potions that I was told about, if you are not too wary about blood.
Foshker stands and follows.
Yeah, if you're going now, I'll definitely go that way as well.
Yeah, Chain will go too.
Remember, Fenton, you can't see shit.
I still have my lantern lit, but I can see some stuff.
Oshker will be your seeing eye lizard.
Lorenz
Hey,
will
thanks.
follow the group.
Little field trip out here.
Hell
Got
yeah.
quiet in here. Reed'll start humming the tune from Muse.
Hmm.
Ree gets to keep an eye on Lukas, his best buddy.
Until
ju-
Reed bites into
oh.
something that makes him fall asleep.
Oh, me? Sleep? God, I need it.
So going back around this corner
Yoink.
and over here.
I zoomed out too much. We also gotta be wary of that freaking demon dog thing over there in the other room.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's some
and
shenanigans up there.
Yeah, that's why I specified that
We don't
we would
talk
be
about
safe
that.
if we came over here.
I am definitely going to be having a very friendly chat with it next session and inviting it over for tea.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
It's not
Reed's
gonna
famous
accept
tea
your.
parties.
It's not gonna like his tea or want it.
All right, so looking out into the blood pool, I would shudder at the thought of going back in, but take a step forward and be ankle deep in blood. And I would look back and I would say, I understand if you don't want to, you don't have to.
Foshker
But-
wades in, no hesitation. Not bothered at
Chain.
all.
That we need to find some stuff.
Chain takes his cloak off and then he walks in. But he doesn't like bend down to like pick things up with his hands. He'll just pick them up with his talons.
Hmm.
and then lift them up that way to hand to
Understandable.
people.
Drumsticks.
Smart.
Fenton
Right
will
now.
use a mage hand to not get in the pool of blood and try to feel around at the bottom.
No, Foshker's in there. He's like down on his, like using his hands, like going through the blood, just feeling around underneath it.
Okay, so
Actually, Lorenz will do Mage Hand as well.
between Leora's already covered in blood, so it's fine. Between all of us, we will find 2 potions of invisibility, 1 potion of clairvoyance, 1 potion of giant strength,
Ooh.
1 potion of invulnerability.
Also, ooh.
What?
We will
God
also
damn.
find 2 flasks of Alchemist's Fire that deals 66 points of damage instead of 1d4.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
And also a body of
hookup.
Eon tea.
Mm.
Because
Foshker holds up the body.
the blood is fresh.
What color was this you want, T?
It does not say right now red.
It's covered in blood. Yeah.
Yeah.
After like a few minutes of finding potions, just to make it easy, Foshgrid like feels something out larger, and then just you see him stand up holding like this dead Yuan Ti by its ankle.
How much damage on the alchemist fire?
66.
66. If you want, I can
That's
just copy and
big.
paste read so you don't have to. Okay.
Do the minutes. Okay.
One of clairvoyance, one giant shield.
Fushka pulling out this body, Yancy body. I want to once again make eye contact with you, Leora.
I don't think that was the same one. It can't be the same one that I saw earlier.
Wait, you saw one too?
Yeah, when I was trying to find you all, I didn't have a chance to say anything because, the death kiss. But there's a Yuan Ti, and I think this is. And she like kind of shakes her head a little bit to gather her thoughts. When I came across him, there was a dead Yuan Ti. He killed that one that I think was coming for me. And he said that he was protecting me, but I don't know. And at any rate, he disappeared. So I can only assume that this body is that dead one from before.
It's definitely dead.
Wait, was this the same one that you ran into,
Yes.
Fenton?
We are running on the assumption that it was.
Oh God.
But not this one.
And he holds it up higher and kind of shakes it a little bit.
Do any goodies fall out?
Loot the body.
Does anything fall out of its pockets?
Take all the lint.
Jeez.
I take several steps back from Foshkra, shaking a wet Yancy.
No, I don't think there's anything left to take from that one. But after getting all of that out of the blood, I would take myself out of the pool and look at Fenton and point up to the little altar and say, that's where the pearl was.
I'll have to ask Fel about that because I do want to investigate that a little closer to see if there was an enchantment or something on it.
What do we do with this?
Just
He's
leave
still
it.
he's still holding it.
Just leave it. If that other Yuan Ti was close enough to falling here with us, though, we need to be vigilant.
Yes, but like
Absolutely.
Fenton said, they are invisible. I cannot see that.
We might have to start leaving some sort of trap around camp to something that invisibility won't help him with, like soot on the ground where we can see footprints, something like that. I don't. But Jane will kind of give a quick rundown to, I guess, everybody but Reed, since Reed's still over there, about what he talked to Fenton about how this Yuan Ti, at least based off of voice and Fenton's confirmation, is the same Yuan Ti that Chain ran into 3 years ago during kind of like his test or initiation to get into the order that he works for. And that just kind of like, what he sees from like his stance on how, at least kind of like contradictory to what the Yuan Ti itself told Lior, that we need to be careful about this guy and not trust anything that he says.
Are you confiding with Reed?
This conversation, I'm assuming, happens while we're still over at the blood pool, so I don't think Reed.
Okay, sorry, I thought I heard my name.
Yeah, saying that. I guess I'm saying everybody but Reed, since Reed's still in the
Okay,
other
got
room.
it.
Yep.
Reed is away from the lore.
It pains me so.
We'll fill you in once you stop having your snacks.
I'm done eating. Now I'm starting other forms of touching.
Oh God.
That's disturbing. Okay, moving on.
Hopefully we can and do learn more about this seemingly rogue Yanzi sooner rather than later. That being said, I think we're all in agreement that we still do not trust the thing, even if it seems to have spared our lives in opportunities where it could have shown less mercy.
Oh, by the way, any potions that Foshker picked up, he handed them over to Leora.
Yeah, any that Chain picked up, he would like hold it in his talons and like hop on one foot over to.
Boing, 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 boing.
It'd be so
Okay.
much easier if you could just hover above the water, wouldn't it?
So
I'm gonna fucking shank the shit out of you.
maybe we will figure out like a party loot and a dedicated loot holder later. But right now the potions are Leora's.
Sounds
Yes.
Pockets full.
I have explosives.
Don't you have a satchel?
I don't remember. Not
You
in her
should
design,
have
at
like
least, but-
you should start with like an explorer's pack or something like
Yeah,
that.
I think I do. Yeah.
Backpack, some kind.
Yeah.
I'm also
Backpack,
gonna
backpack.
treat myself and say that while we're over here, Fenton's going to notice the mural of Muse above, and this is going to be his next art project to try and recreate.
Hell yeah.
Treat yourself.
Fell said that was
Feels not here.
drawn in the same style as the murals in the tunnel that collapsed, right?
Correct.
Yes, but it was not present above. This one was missing from above.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That is curious.
Following Fenton's gaze upward. And dropping the Yuan-Ti finally.
It is beautiful, though. A deity somehow separated from the others. If Leora is correct, predating the others as well.
No. That is the style of the Terran, as they did above in the tunnel. They drew stories of the folk.
So it is. Perhaps a Terran historian or something along those lines might have more information for us. But this information seems to be secret for a reason.
These tunnels are ancient, Fenton.
I do understand, yes.
There were no deities before.
Much is lost to history, Foshkra. There are theories of deities. Muse is an exciting trail, for I feel she is the closest thing to a confirmation. But still, no. These things are not known for sure. Not by myself or you or any others.
There are deities before the shattering of the tribes. I would have had stories from the elders. It is the way of my people. That is our histories. This does not make sense. It does not make sense.
Or that he kind of like walks back over to the other room.
An incomplete history of the world.
I hate to be the one to do so, but I do gotta run, so that might be the place to put a pin in it.
It
All
does
right.
seem like a solid place to put a pin in it.
Yeah.
Wandering
Boink.
back to
Yeah.
the
There's the
campfire.
pin.
The final,
Gotta-
Gosh.
I'll say the final thing is Fostra is going to ask if someone can take his watch for the night. He feels he needs a bit more rest than usual.
I can't imagine why. Leora will.
Hmm.
It's not like he's got like a decaying hole in his chest.
a nearly mortal wound, yeah.
Details.
No, sounds like a him problem.
I will stuff you back in that coffin and put the lid on.
Without the
Okay.
padding.
Without the padding.
Ooh.
You talk a lot of shit for someone with low HP.
Look, I got some healing, alright?
I
I'm
cast.
not at
Some isn't gonna save you from fucking
I'm not at
3d6
4 HP
damage.
anymore.
I cast Bloom.
I'm at 24 HP now.
I cast remote stab.
Remote stab.
I don't know. Does Chain have enough? Does Chain have enough HP to survive 2d8?
Probably.
Probably.
As long as you don't roll max damage, I'm good.
Get the fucking
How
crit like Fenton did.
how do you people survive with such low hit points?
I hide like the coward I am.
By the skin of my beak.
Do beaks have skin?
Oh brave, Sir
Sure.
Kinku. Sir Kinku, so brave.
God.
Look, the Kenku is brave. The Kenku walked into the circle with an Ignin unarmed.
No,
The
I didn't.
Kenku did?
No, not the Kenku. I'm sorry, the Eric. Never mind.
Stupid. Mr.
Too
Nine
much roleplay
intelligence.
got the wires crossed.
My intelligence is only 9.
Child raised or something.
Well, that was surprisingly excellent, and I feel spiritually refreshed. Is that the right way to say it?
Yes.
So much
sure,
lore
I
for
agree.
a solely roleplay session.
It's
I
That's
thought we'd
nice.
run out of stuff to
Yes.
say, but no, we didn't even have to really
Nope.
push it. That was just
And-
natural.
No, we didn't have to fucking force a damn thing.
And
We
you
could
know what
probably
this
keep
means is
There are
that
more conversations.
next session we're going to have all the momentum to move forward and make plot happen.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Love it.
I do
Love
I
it.
do like this, having like the little like after big moments like what we just had.
This was
I
great
wouldn't
timing
mind
for
having
it,
this
yeah.
like a regular thing, you know?
We just have a session 10.5, session 14.5.
Stained glass
I love
lands after dark.
Literally, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
kind and wonderful Noel, I do have to request the session recording ASAP because for whatever reason, I just decided not to take notes today. And I
Oh,
need
no.
to go back and take
God, Fenton, you're just dropping the ball, man.
notes. No!
The journal is incomplete.
What I can do is I can start the upload process tonight, and it will be up to Fail whenever to finish that process.
That would be very kind of you before your 13-hour shifts. I don't want to. If you don't get to it, that's fine, but thank you.
No, I'm just going to start that and then go the fuck to sleep.
Love it.
Is Fenton gonna get keen mind so he doesn't need to take notes? He can just make
Make
Fell
game
use-
master.
No, my goal is to have a keener mind than Fel. So I gotta
Good
do it myself.
fucking luck, buddy. Let me tell you. Fucking, I was telling everybody else before the session, but for those that weren't there, every fucking time I listen back to my first my solo session, I just find new shit to get pissed about that fucker snuck in. New information that is very relevant that I didn't fucking read into for one reason or another.
You
Like Reed
should,
said, it's all lines, there is no dots.
you should read into all information. Nom 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 nom.
Listen,
Okay.
man, one of the pieces of information would have required me to play a piano when I was trying to be sneaky, so wasn't gonna happen.
You would have been doing like a stealth segment of a game.
Piano hero.
Stealth is optional.
No,
Alright, my
stealth was
friends,
very much not optional for a level 2 chain.
You could have done it, but I am
Man,
hopping
like,
off. So
fucking-
Okay.
thank
Alright,
you.
good
Good
night.
night.
Good night,
Fez.
I believe I will end the recording here.
Okay.
Oh, you were still